Welcome back to Coach's Corner, Playoffs Edition. I'm Jake Lancer with Danny Lynch for HWTV, and today we're back again with varsity boys head basketball coach David Rebibo. Coming off an upset win against Sierra Canyon, the Wolverines are undefeated in pool play and take on Centennial in the CIF Southern Section Championship game on Friday night. Coach, what a week it was for your team. You avenge your only in-state loss this season on Tuesday against rival Notre Dame, and then on Friday you pull off the huge upset against the star-studded Sierra Canyon team. Now you guys have a chance to win the CIF Southern Section Championship for the first time in school history, one of the toughest divisions in the country. Tell us more about the past week.
It was a great week for our program, a great week for our team, obviously. Started on Tuesday with Notre Dame. Our guys were incredibly locked in and had probably one of the best defensive efforts of our season. Very, very impressed with our guys' resilience. And then, 2-day turnaround heading into Sierra Canyon. Quite the environment. And we battled from start to finish. There were two things that I addressed with our guys with incredible pride, and it was their resilience. That we handled runs, we handled adversity, we handled good plays, bad plays. We stayed together, and we stayed poised. And the other thing is we battled. Every possession, every loose ball, every play was incredible, and I thought it was a testament to our guys' hard work and commitment to each other and their team.
I think a lot of people want to know what happened during halftime during the Sierra Canyon game. You guys were down 34-29. What was said during that time? Did a player say something? What was going on?
Nothing out of the ordinary. We talked about a few minor tweaks that we wanted to make on the defensive end and a couple little things offensively. Felt like we had great looks offensively in the first half. We just maybe some jitters. It was a huge environment, and that was something we talked about heading into it. We knew the environment would be big and unlike anything we've seen. So we kind of just, I think, needed a couple minutes to take a deep breath and settle down. And once we did, I felt like we started to play really good Harvard-Westlake basketball.
This is the team's first time in Open Division final in a really long time. What do you think differed from all the years before to get to this point?
One, the Open Division is relatively new in the last, I think, 8 or 9 years, 10 years maybe. So that is obviously a big component. The other component, we've been in it the last 3 years, and in the last 3 years, we've had a chance at the championship or been a game away. And I think a lot of that is experience. I think a lot of that is timing. The stars have to align, and then to a large degree, it's our time together and our understanding of the moment, right? Every year is different, every team is different and unique, and I think as we gain that experience and that understanding, you tend to appreciate and understand the moment a little bit more as time goes on.
Now, Centennial has won 26 consecutive games since November. Both teams are going in on highs. What do you think is going to separate you from Centennial? And I mean, you also said it in the LA Times that this is going to be like a war. So,
well, thanks for reminding me how many games they've won. We know how good they are. We know how talented they are. We expect them to be at their best, just as we expect ourselves to be at our best. They are incredibly talented. They're incredibly well coached, and they play together. And they've been playing together for a number of years, similar to our group. But we do feel like we match up well. We feel like we are playing great basketball, and at the end of the day, it's going to come down to execution on both ends of the court. It's going to come down to us being disciplined in the game plan and in our execution of that understanding, and chemistry. Are we going to be together the same way we were last Friday night?
Coach, everyone's been calling this Sierra win an upset because of the seeding, but honestly, watching the game, it felt like you guys were the more together and composed team on the court. What went into planning for that game and getting ready?
With their style of play, how they increase tempo, how they try and trap and do a lot of things, we knew it was going to have to be a collective effort, which is kind of how we feel every night, right? Certain guys are going to do certain things, but other guys are going to have to do more on certain nights. And that was a night we expected others to have to step up. And, it was the total effort. we knew what the goal was, we knew what the game plan was, and we executed to the best of our ability. And I would say I still don't think we've had a great shooting night throughout the playoffs. We've shot it well, but not to the standard that I think we're capable of. And that was something that I thought kind of stood out to me, in that we had great looks early, we had great looks midway through, and then we had some great looks late. And we just kind of missed some here and there. And we're hoping that turns around. Sierra Canyon is a great team and a great program with great players and a good staff. So we know how talented they are and what they can do. And I think the biggest thing for us heading into that game was belief that if we do the things that we can do and if we stay together, we can win. And now we know that's the reality.
Writing all these questions, it's been tough to decide whether to ask more about Sierra, Centennial, or just the whole postseason in general. And, I just wanted to take a second to acknowledge sophomore Trent Perry, a guy that's been in the system since 7th grade, been working hard. You know what the potential is for him. And just you having him out on the court there in a late game situation, having that trust in him, and then him actually knocking down the free throws to sort of seal the game there. How does that sort of just speak to the mentality of the team?
Well, between him, Cameron Thrower, Robert Hinton, Landon Lewis, Jacob Huggins, Brady Dunlap, Nicholas Kamanea, Christian Ori, who's not with us. Who else am I missing here? Dante Russell. The list goes on and on. We've put those guys in those situations, albeit at practice, albeit sometime within our 26-game season. We've tried to put them in those situations to see and whether it's been Cameron Thrower, who for 4 years has hit big-time shots for us, or Brady Dunlap, who made huge plays down the stretch, or Jacob Huggins, who's hit ice games with free throws, or Landon Lewis, who makes huge plays for us to keep us in the game, or momentum-shifting dunks. We've put our guys in those situations, and when we do, we feel confident that they're going to execute, despite us maybe not executing defensively down the stretch in that game. A situation that still haunts me of how we handled that up 3 situation. We know that our guys are going to embrace the moment and be in the moment, which is huge, and not let the moment be too big.
This playoff run really feels like a revenge tour where you avenged your only in-state loss of the season with Notre Dame. You beat Mater Dei and Sierra, who you've had trouble with in the playoffs in past years. But to sort of flip that narrative, you've beat Corona the past 5 times you've played them. What's it gonna take to make that 6?
Well, the storyline can be that we've beaten them 5 in a row, but it's been 3 different teams in that time span, right? The first time we beat them was a Johnny Juzang, Mason Hooks, Brace Dotton sophomore team in which they had a bunch of young guys. We got them at home. 2 years later, we play them, and they are a totally different team, up tempo. Playing with more speed and size and shooting. And we are kind of a ground and pound with Mason Hooks and Truman Gettings kind of leading the way with Cameron and Spencer Hubbard and Holden McRae and whatnot. And then last year's team, which was kind of 2 seniors, a couple juniors, a bunch of sophomores, a couple freshmen. And you're like, okay, well, let's just go out and compete. And I thought, so that team is different than this year's team, which is much more experienced, a little more depth, much more length and size. So they all present different problems for us. They're the team to beat, and they have been all year, right? Their size, their length, their speed, how long they've been together, their chemistry. They're incredibly talented, and they do a great job. And we're going to have to be at our best.
Again, talking on how good the Centennial team is, looking at rankings, they are ranked higher than you nationally. Do you think these numbers will reflect how your team is going to play against them? I feel like.
No, we don't care. We haven't cared about rankings all year. It doesn't affect us. It doesn't mean anything. The only thing that matters is that ranking at the end of the year, right? And we've said that, we've preached that, we believe that. We are going to respect our opponent, but we're going to come in ready to compete. We know what's on the line. We know what's out there for us, and we're going to have to go and take it and take it for 32 minutes.
Coach, Cam Throw has been on an absolute tear this entire postseason, just showing the world just how good he is. What have you seen in him in the past couple of weeks, not just on the floor, but also from a leadership veteran role?
Well, the one thing is, for 4 years, he's been a big shot maker. He's been a guy who is capable of scoring and doing so much. But his growth, his leadership, his willingness to want to guard the best player on the defensive end, all of that has transpired into what we're seeing now, a complete basketball player. And typically you'll see a guy and he's really good offensively and defensively he's and he and I kind of talked, and one of the big things for him was it's not just about winning this year and getting you better. It's about getting you ready to play next year. And in doing that, it requires all the intangible things that we talk about, from the defensive end, from rebounding, from playmaking, leadership, how you talk to your teammates, how you carry yourself on the floor, all those things. And he's bought in every step of the way. And what we're seeing is the culmination of a kid who's worked his tail off for 4 years and been a great, great player in our program.
Now, Coach, I know you're not the type of guy to get all hyped up by the outside noise and everything, but with this team being recognized now by more national media like ESPN and Bleacher Report, does your team take any satisfaction getting that recognition that you guys deserve?
I would love to tell you no, but we're in the social media era, and they're getting what they deserve, in my opinion, and rightfully so. But I said this to a friend the other night. After our Sierra Canyon game, I had 197 text messages. By 10 a.m., I was up to like 250. Of the 250, I think 130, 140, I had to remind we still had another game. And I think our guys were well aware of that. In the locker room, after the game, we were excited. We were pumped up. We were enjoying ourselves. We were enjoying the moment. But our players told me that we had another game. So I know they know what's at stake. I know they know what's on the line. I know they know we have another game.
It's a great sign. Honestly, I don't even have to ask my next question now, which was how do you make sure they're locked in on the next game? Because it seems like just after when you beat Notre Dame going into Sierra, you said the same thing. It feels like they've had this sort of goal the whole postseason and they're locked in on it.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of leads straight into my question. We were talking about how the Sierra Canyon game has been getting so much hype and there's so much expectation that it kind of felt like it was the final game of the postseason. And how do you think that just changed the mindset, and how is that going to change your mindset going into the next game?
It doesn't. It provides confidence knowing we can compete with the best. I don't know that there's a deeper team with the talent level and size and than Sierra Canyon. They're subbing guys, and you're like, okay, well, that guy's in foul trouble. He's 6'9". Okay, well, here comes another 6'9" guy. Okay, well, here comes another 6'8" guy. Here comes a 6'7" wing. So I believe it provides confidence for us. But we know that we have to play a certain way and execute at a certain level on both ends of the floor to do what we want to do, and that's hopefully win a championship.
Also, this Centennial game is already getting a lot of recognition hype. I mean, it sold out in 3 minutes. What do you think goes through your team's mind when this happens, since I'm sure they know what's going on?
I don't know that they're overly critical of that, or over analyzing that at all. I think they're so they're kind of used to it, right? It's been that when Mater Dei went on sale, we sold out. When Notre Dame went on sale, we sold out. When Sierra Canyon went on sale, we sold out. So I think they're kind of used to it. When I walked into practice yesterday, there wasn't like a buzz. It was kind of like, I think we're at the point where it's like, just get me to the game already. 4 days of preparation's been a lot. And I'm sure it's a lot of noise and whatnot, but I think they're very, very aware of what's at stake and what we need to do. So
we've talked on individuals, but this team just has insane chemistry. Can you talk about how that came to be? Since sometimes it doesn't happen instantly. Did this happen instantly, or was it something that had to culminate over time?
A good chunk of this group has been together for 2, 3, 4 years. So obviously that plays a huge part. The other part is they like each other. They're friends. They're hanging out at lunch. They're together in between. They go out to dinners day before a game. So that's been a big part of that. The other part, we've battled some adversity. In the fall, we had maybe 7 healthy guys for a majority of the fall. We had Cameron hurt his thumb. Jacob had his teeth chipped. Brady got mono. Trent had knee issues. It was a revolving door of injuries that we were kind of dealing with. Then as we approached the season, Cameron was trying to get back from his thumb. Then he had turf toe. Then Jacob's toe was bothering him. He hurt his toe. And we were kind of dealing with these things, and that affects your chemistry, right, to a degree, because we're talking about big pieces. Derek Schneider hurts his wrist. That's a piece right there of what we're trying to do. So it kind of hurts. It hurts practice, hurts your ability to compete in practice, but it also hurts what you do because we are tweaking things because those are big pieces. And then COVID, right? The not understated 2-week pause that we had. Everyone was talking to me like, "Hey, what are we going to do about this? What are we going to do about that?" And my reply was, "I've never given our guys 2 weeks off in seasons. I don't know." And so that obviously was something that we had to kind of deal with and handle. And for about 3 or 4 weeks, we were trying to find it. In league play, right? One of the best leagues in Southern California, with some great coaches who were preparing for war against us, right? And we are kind of going there trying to prepare, but also trying to find ourselves. So I think all of that adversity has kind of led to, we want to do this for our seniors, namely, right? That's number one. We want to do this for our program and for our school. And I think our guys understand that. They love each other. They absolutely respect each other. And I think there's a lot of pride considering what we've gone through as a team and where we've been and how close we've come.
It's no secret that the Fanatics completely took over Sierra Canyon's gym last Friday, and they really energized you guys into that fourth quarter run. How can they be big tomorrow, Friday, against Centennial?
They just have to bring energy. They've been awesome the entire playoffs. It started at the Mater Dei game. It went into the Notre Dame game, and it was evident in the Sierra Canyon game. And all we can do is ask for the same thing, the same energy, the same passion, the same pride. We take pride in representing our school. When our school comes and represents us, it energizes us to a level that I can't even describe or explain.
I know everyone's going to be ready for that 3-hour drive up to Centennial. Lastly, we just wanted to ask, looking at the challenge ahead of stopping Centennial and led by shifty 3-level scorer Jared McCain, what's going to be the biggest focus going into tomorrow?
Well, we have to do a great job on Jared McCain, but they have another very special guard, Donovan Dent, who is incredibly talented, and they have some great other pieces. Huff is a good shooter from the perimeter. Devin Williams is an incredibly talented big man, and obviously Aaron McBride is another talented big guy who we are aware of and know of. Number one, we have to do a great job guarding the ball, keeping the ball in front of us, staying squared on the ball. Number two, we have to rebound, and number three, we have to do the things that we know we need to do offensively, taking care of the ball and making simple plays.
Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck to you guys tomorrow. I'm Danny Lynch with Jake Lancer. We'll see you next time on Coach's Corner. Enjoy the game.